Our next presenter is going to be Scott Maroney. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name. He's from the Ritchie Group. He got his bachelor's in finance and econ, and right now he's working as the principal for the Ritchie Group. And so without further ado, Scott, you can go.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Let's see, I'm trying to find myself on this video here. There I am. Okay, looking good. Guys, good to see you all. I'm excited to talk to you. I love Utah State, had a great experience up there. I've been working now in commercial real estate for about 7 years. I started as an intern at the Ritchie Group, and then sort of been here and over a lot of years. I've kind of worked my way up. I'm now a part owner in the company, which is awesome. Not awesome that I did that, but just it's been a lot of fun. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about real estate. So real estate is this huge, broad thing, right? You have everyday real estate where you're buying a home, maybe you're trying to buy land to build a home. And then on the other side, you have commercial real estate. And the side that we're going to focus on today is really commercial real estate. I'm going to share my screen with you guys here, but give me one moment here. Okay, so the Ritchie Group, we are a commercial real estate company. Is everyone seeing my screen okay? Thumbs up. Okay, great. So the Ritchie Group, we're a commercial real estate firm. I saw a financial meme the other day and it said, "This is your challenge. Try and explain to your neighbor that, that you're not a realtor, go." And I have so many people, well, I used to, not so many anymore, but who used to come up to me and say, "Hey, Scott, can you help me buy a house?" And the reality is we build buildings and develop buildings that look more like this. So in commercial real estate, there are really 4 or 5 big areas where you can focus in. There are developers and owners, and those are the people who are going out, purchasing land. Maybe they're purchasing a building, trying to repurpose that building. They're equity and debt and capital market providers. So those are your lenders. They provide money and equity for these projects to come forth. The project that we're looking at right here, this cost $190 million. So the people who are involved in it, we're going to have everyone who's on this list here, but the equity and debt capital, they played a really big role here. So we worked with a lender. We had to raise a lot of equity, and that was an important role. You also have asset and property management. Those are the people who, once a building's complete, they take care of it for you. Brokerage, those are guys who, if you want to sell the building, to buy or sell a building, those are the people that you talk to. And then you've got dozens of other sort of consulting and professional roles. But there are, so those are sort of the main roles within commercial real estate. Oh, sorry, I got distracted by the ding there for a second. So those are sort of the main roles within commercial real estate. You also have, I want to talk a little bit about an overview of the asset types and what we actually build. So the 4 or 5 big asset types within real estate are industrial, and that is this is a 500,000 square foot industrial building just west of Salt Lake. These are the kind of buildings that, like Amazon or an Adobe or somewhat, well, not an Adobe, but Amazon or a big like an Overstock.com, they would use these buildings, put furniture, stock lots of supplies, and basically they're shipping from these warehouses all across the world, and well, all across the country, and sometimes across the world. So we dabble. The Ritchie Group specializes in industrial and multifamily as well. Multifamily, when we say multifamily, that just means apartments. This building on the left is a 240 unit apartment project. The building on the right is a hotel, which we'll talk about in a minute. These are just some previous examples of apartment projects that we've done as a company. And I'm showing you these to show you that apartments, they don't all look the same. And you can do a lot just within multifamily or apartments, and really within any specialty within real estate. There's a lot of different things that you can do within these. But these are different apartment projects that we've worked on over the years. And then another major group of real estate is hospitality. So hospitality, when we say hospitality, that just means hotel. This is a project that the Ritchie Group we did in Hawaii. So this was several years ago. But anyway, this is on Kauai, and this is another major area of real estate. The two other areas that real estate focuses on is retail and office. And in retail and office, we don't specialize in those, but you can still do really, really well. So retail, that's your traditional things, traditional retail that you'll think about: shopping malls, shopping centers. Retail is still actually doing really well despite what you sometimes hear. It's just changing a lot. Another area that people focus in is office. Office is going to be just what it sounds like. You're building office buildings for people to work in, physical locations. As you guys know, that's changing a lot right now too. The office world has been impacted in a big way by COVID. It's starting to make a comeback, but it's something that a lot of people are a little bit wary of right now, as they're still trying to figure out what's actually going to happen. I heard Chance say earlier, and I really like this. He was saying, I think someone asked the question of what kind of student would succeed in private equity? That is a really great question if you apply it to any industry. And I think for you guys, as you're looking at what you want to do and where you want to end up, I think that's a great question to ask. If you are interested in working in commercial real estate, similar to what Chance said, I would say that it's really not as important about what your background was, as much as you being able to think critically, be a problem solver, and get in and just get stuff done. I think Chance used the word hustler, and I really love that. So I want to go through just a real quick sort of case study with you guys. So I've identified 4 or 5 areas that I think are very important to succeed in commercial real estate. And for you guys, are you guys primarily business students? Okay, almost everyone. Nicole, is this generally, do we have students from other sections as well?
Yeah, this is our finance and econ club. So most of us are finance majors or econ majors,
Okay.
But there's a little bit of all the business students here.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, that is so great. So let's talk through, so most of you guys are finance and econ majors. And I'm sure that you guys are, Utah State, you guys do a great job of sort of being not clones and being able to do a lot of different things. So let's just talk through really quick. For instance, like finance and econ, I mentioned that this was a $190 million project. So when we started this project, we identified the land. We had to figure out, okay, how much is the land going to cost? What can we build on it? We built out a financial model. We figured out, what returns we could get to our investors. And then we actually had to go and execute on that by raising debt and capital and doing that. You continue to do finance and econ throughout the project as you're trying to track the budget and keep things in line. So that's a huge part of it. But just as important as finance and econ on a project like this is branding and marketing. So this apartment on the left, this is called the Charles. This entire project is called the West Quarter. We don't have time to run through it, but sometimes you guys can go and check it out. If you go to thewestquarter.com. We had to sit down and do a lot of thinking on this project. This is directly across the street from where the Jazz play. So it's just to the south. Let's see, it's going to be to the southeast, in kitty corner to the southeast section of where the Jazz play. But with this project, like, we had to really sit down and say, okay, what are our strengths? Location, we're in a great location. What are the weaknesses? We're a little bit disconnected from the rest of downtown. Who's going to live here? We had to identify a target market, and really every decision that we made was a mix of branding and trying to figure out who's going to live here, what strengths do we have being next to the Jazz. And as you guys go through the westquarter.com, you'll see that we went through all of our branding matches the location and this really specific target market, which we don't have time to talk about, but it's a really, but being able to think about that is important. So far, finance, econ, marketing, and then another important one is just management and leadership. For all of you guys, I'd encourage you to continue to develop that role. So on a project like this, we have our team, the owner and developer team is pretty small, but underneath us, not even underneath us, working with us is a group of, I don't know, I'd say 100+ different consultants and groups. And that includes contractors, architects, civil engineers, interior designers, all kinds of different consultants. And every project that we look through, if I zip back through these, every single project has a big team like that. So really, this is a multidisciplinary field. I'd love to talk with any of you if you have more questions. If you're interested in getting into commercial real estate, I think you guys are in a good path. Finance and econ is a great background to have. But more importantly, it's being willing to get your hands dirty, learn on the job, be able to solve problems, and just dive in and figure things out. I'm going to end with sort of the presentation side there, but do you guys, what questions do you have that I can help with?
I have a question.
Yeah.
It was, you mentioned earlier how COVID was affecting the industry in like the unpredictable ways. How is your company dealing with the fact that many large scale companies that use those commercial buildings are finding not having a need to have as many people come in anymore? How are you, how's your company combating that?
That's a great question, Kyle. So luckily for us, we are much more heavy in the apartment side than in office or hospitality. Office and hospitality were the two areas that were hit the hardest. Fortunately, multifamily apartments have actually seen a ridiculous increase. So rents in the last year increased about 14% along the Wasatch Front. That's going to impact you guys as you get ready to graduate from school, find a house or an apartment. Apartment values have also increased in a massive way. So really, for us, we lucked out. A lot of our partners and people that we work with, it's really a day-by-day thing, Kyle. It's trying to figure out. I think a lot of them pulled back. They just sort of pushed the pause button, and they're sort of trying to figure out now where do they put their money and their time. But a lot of people are pivoting out of those asset types to other asset types that are working. Now, other questions?
I had a question.
Yeah.
You being a developer and owner, like how long did it take to get to that point, or did you come in at the market at the right time, or like where did you start with like the Ritchie Group and
Sure,
how did that all come to be?
Great question. Yeah, so I started as an intern. My senior year, I did between my junior and senior year at Utah State, I got an internship. And then my senior year of Utah State, I worked part-time. I was commuting from Logan 2 to 3 times a week down to Salt Lake. And then I've been working for 7 years, Tanner. So it's I think everyone's path is a little bit different, but I would say for the most part, if you're interested in this field, it's not uncommon to be able to start receiving ownership in projects after 4 to 6 years.
Thank you.
Yeah. Looks like we may have time for 1 or 2 more.
It looks like you had a question in the chat from Cameron. He asked when you guys start hiring for your internship program.
Yeah, good question. Our company is we're actually staffing up soon. So this summer, if you're interested in an internship, we probably start hiring in the spring. We'd be doing the interview process, but we'll be looking for, I'd say 2 to 3 interns this summer. So if you want to reach out to me, send me a resume. I think I've given my email to Paul and John before. You guys can shoot me an email, a resume, tell me, why you're interested in working here. I'd love to chat with you more.
I've also put his LinkedIn in the chat, so if you want to connect with him, that is a great way to do it as well.
That would be great.
I actually had a question.
You do? Okay, go ask.
Yeah. So I was just wondering about how many projects every year does your group work with, and then how many projects do you individually work with?
Yeah, right now, Kyle asked that question about COVID. COVID for us it's been fuel to the fire, and it's actually like caused a lot of growth, which is nuts. So right now our group has probably 16 or 17 active projects. I'm involved with 8 or 9 of them right now. So because the growth has mostly been in apartments, and that's really what I do, I'm involved in about half of the projects that we have going. But great question. And I think every firm's going to be different. We're becoming, we're sort of a mid-sized development group that we're going through a lot of growing pains right now. We're trying to figure out how to staff up and grow in an appropriate way. We've been this small kind of cowboy development firm for a long time, and we're realizing that we're getting big enough now that we need to figure out how to really get structured. But thank you all for your time today. I think I'm at my time. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you guys. I'd love to make it up to campus sometime and talk with you and meet you in person as well. This is a little tricky. You guys made me nervous for the first like 4 minutes of this as well. I'm now feeling more normal, so that's good. But truly, guys, I love Utah State, and I'd love to chat with you anytime. And if I can help in any way, please reach out.
Thank you so much, Scott. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks a lot. Take care.